Hello, my name is Joe Hoyle. I'm on the faculty here at the University of Richmond where this morning I actually taught a class in financial accounting. So I want to talk with you now about Chapter 6. I think there are many things in this chapter that will help you to understand how the accounting profession works and why people put their trust in the financial statements that are produced by a reporting company. This whole system is very much developed to try to make sure that everyone has faith in the financial statements that they are looking at. I have chosen my top 5 things in this chapter. Hope you've written down 5, so let's compare. Let's see how we do. Here is number 5. For me, number 5 was the idea of internal control. I think that's important to college students because when you get out in the working world and you see how a business operates, they will do things that you may not understand. Often that's because of internal control. Remember that internal control encompasses all of the rules, procedures, practices, policies, whatever they do, to make sure that the organization operates as intended, to make sure the company is run effectively and efficiently. Now, a lot of those rules have nothing to do with accounting, but many of them do, because many of them are set up to make sure that the information is gathered and reported properly so that outside decision makers can trust those financial statements. So internal control helps the accountant by making the numbers more likely to be properly presented. When you look at a business, when you see the way they operate, find out for yourself where the internal control procedures are. Those procedures, the ones that help make the company operate effectively. Number 4 is the idea of a CPA. Anyone who takes an accounting course, anyone who's going to study financial accounting, has probably heard the term CPA, Certified Public Accountant. Often people hear that term but do not know what it means. The CPA has many functions in our society, but the one that is brought up here, the one that is the most obvious to the public, is the CPA's role in auditing financial statements. The CPA comes in as an expert from outside the company to look at the financial statements and decide whether they are presented fairly. That role adds credibility to the entire financial reporting process. To do that, you need an expert. That expert is a CPA. To become a CPA, you need to have a certain level of education. You often need to have practical experience, and you need to pass a very rigorous exam, the CPA exam. But the pinnacle of success in the world of the accountant is often viewed as the CPA. And the number 1 role of the CPA is as an independent expert serving as an outside auditor. Number 3 is the fact that the independent auditor provides reasonable assurance that financial statements are presented fairly in accordance to U.S. GAAP. Therefore, there are no material misstatements. And I want to stress the term reasonable assurance. People who have not studied accounting often believe that the CPA provides an absolute total guarantee. That's not true. It's not even possible. The CPA provides reasonable assurance. And as we discussed in Chapter 6, the reason they can only give reasonable assurance is because there are so many estimates in a set of financial statements, and no one can ever guarantee they will be all correct, and there are thousands upon thousands of transactions. The CPA, the independent auditor, will look at many of those transactions, but they can't possibly look at them all. In addition, the people who use financial statements understand that what they are getting is only reasonable assurance. They can take that into consideration when they start relying on those financial statements. So if you pick up a set of financial statements and you see an independent auditor's report, recognize that reasonable assurance is being given that these statements are presented fairly in accordance to U.S. GAAP and therefore have no material misstatements. Number two for me, and I think this is tremendously important for a college student to understand, is the structure of the accounting profession. We always know that the accountant conveys information, but we often misunderstand the structure of the accounting profession. What happens is that the government body that's in charge is the Securities and Exchange Commission, and they have a wide range of authority and a wide range of things that they do. But they have given to the FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, the responsibility of producing the generally accepted accounting principles that have to be applied. In addition, the PCAOB, the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, is the one that sets the rules for auditing companies that look at publicly traded companies. So when you think about the accounting profession, it's not just one group or organization. There are actually many. We try to introduce those here in Chapter 6. So when you hear about things going on in the accounting profession, and when you hear about things going on in the financial reporting process, you'll have a good idea where the authority is coming from. And now, number one for me is the whole idea of the independent auditing of a set of financial statements. Financial statements would simply not be trusted if there was not an entire independent audit, so that people would know that an independent expert has come in and performed an examination, a very rigorous, extensive examination, and then has issued a report on those financial statements. And that report, hopefully, will be an unqualified opinion, an opinion that indicates that the statements are, in the mind or judgment of the auditor, fairly presented in accordance to U.S. GAAP so that no material misstatements exist. Without that auditing function, people would simply not trust the financial statements and would therefore not be willing to give the capital that really runs our capitalistic economy. So I put that number one because I think that is one of the underlying reasons that the U.S. economy has been strong for so awfully long.